I'm about to show you how you can create this Dave Ardito video with Capcut in less than 50 minutes, and you don't even have to be an expert editor to do it. The whole tutorial has been split into sections, and after every section I'm going to be giving away a free package. So with that being said, let's get right into it. As mentioned in the first part of this tutorial, you're going to need two costumes, one for the Naruto and one for the Dr. Strange character. They don't have to be perfect, but they do have to be different. Alright, so the first section of the tutorial is going to be shooting. So grab your tripod and find a wall or green screen and shoot the following videos. Alright, so in your Naruto costume, the first video you want to shoot is this full one of you acting like you're summoning the shadow clones. And then next, you want to do a pose for one of the shadow clones, and then hold for a couple of seconds, then jump up like this, and then turn around and face another direction, then pose for a little while, then jump up again like this. Then next, you want to stand with one leg up like this facing the side and just hold it for a couple of seconds. The next video you want to shoot is this slow motion video of you jumping up and acting like you're punching something like this. Then the next one you want to shoot is this slow motion also of you jumping backwards like this and holding your hands up as if you are holding something. After you get that, you want to shoot this slow motion video of you jumping up facing the camera and then using your hand in a throwing motion as if you are throwing something at the camera like this. And once you've gotten that, the next one you want to get is this close-up of you looking side to side, confused, and then looking at the camera and then smiling like this. Then you want to turn around on the same video and then face the side like this, then say, "I can do this all day," then raise your hands as if you are doing the shadow clone jutsu again. Then the next video you want to get, just lean towards the camera and then raise your hands up as if you are coming to punch something, then do this punch motion like this. And then the next one you want to get is this wide one of you raising your hands up as if you are summoning the shadow clones again. And then you want to do a couple of poses for the shadow clones. Then next, the next one you want to get is this one of you looking side to side confused and then look forward like this and then smile. And then next up, you want to get this one of you jumping up and landing like this. And that's about it for all the Naruto shots that we're going to need for this part of the tutorial. And finally, in your Naruto costume, you want to make a fist with your hand and then record a close-up video of it like this and hold this for a couple of seconds. Alright, so putting on your Dr. Strange costume, you want to shoot this video of you jumping up and landing like this as if you are dancing ballet. And then you want to just stand on the ground and then raise up one leg like this and raise up your hand so it looks like you are floating off the ground. In the next video you want to shoot is a couple of clone poses, just something like this and then another one like this. Two clone poses should do. This is for when the Dr. Strange will be releasing his own clone. And then as you did before in the Naruto costume, you want to face one side and then hold the pose for a couple of seconds. Then next, you want to shoot this video of you jumping up and landing and raising up your head like this. Then next, you want to shoot this video of this close-up of you raising up your hand like this and then bringing them down again. And next, you want to shoot this top-down shot of you looking side to side like this, looking at the ground side to side as if you are confused like this. And then this close-up slow motion shot you want to shoot of you facing upwards and then acting like something just punched you from the top like this. And again, you want to shoot this slow motion video of you jumping up as if you just got hit, somebody just gave you an uppercut. Then next, you want to shoot this wide shot of you acting like you are dodging something. And then next, you want to shoot this video of you backing the camera and then acting like you are ready for something. And again, backing the camera and facing the side a little bit. You want to just raise up your hands like this and just hold the pose for a while. And then next, you want to shoot this wide shot of you standing and then hitting your hands on the ground like this. And then you want to shoot this side view of you just looking upwards and then hold the pose for a couple of seconds. Next, you want to put your hands on the ground like this and then look side to side a little bit, then act like you are standing up really quickly. Then next, you want to shoot this close-up of you acting like you're dodging something, and then shoot this other one of you turning backwards like this. And finally, you want to shoot this video of your hands up and then bringing them down like this. And with that, we are done with all the shots that we are going to be needing for this video. On to the next section. The first thing you want to do is to add in this background and then go ahead to add in the first section of the video as an overlay, and as usual you want to scale it down and position it on one side. It's going to be serving as your reference. Then what you want to do is to enlarge the background so both videos end at the same place. Then you want to move to wherever the scene changes on the reference video and then hit split on the background. So taking your time, you just want to move to each and every one of them and make sure you don't miss any of them because this is going to be crucial for the rest of the editing. Once you've done all of that, you want to go ahead to add in this video of you acting like you are summoning shadow clones on the second background. And once you've done that, you want to move to right when your hands are up as if you are summoning the shadow clones, and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then move that clip back to the beginning of that background. Then at the end of that background also, you want to hit split and then move to where you do the first pose for the shadow clone, and then hit split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to be beneath the one that you did before. So make sure to remove the background of the video that you had before and scale it down and position it on the ground like this. Then enlarge the scale of the background and move it to one side like this. Now you want to move to right after the jump on the shadow clone video and then hit split from there. Then remove the background of the video in the back. Then you want to move to the second pose of the shadow clone before the jump and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then you want to move to right after the jump and also hit split and delete everything after that. Then remove the background of that video. Then you also want to position it where the other one was. Now you want to move to right when the shadow clones appear and then move both videos to exactly that spot. Then you want to also scale them down and position it on each side of the screen like this. Next you want to do is to make a copy of one of the videos and position it on exactly that spot. Then scale it down and position it somewhere like this so it looks like it's behind all of them. And the second one also, you want to make another copy and then position it on exactly the spot where all the videos are, and also scale it down and position it on one side like this. So the next thing you want to do is to move to where the background ends and then hit split on the first video that you have, and then move them to the point where the clones jump up, and make sure to match the jump exactly when the ones on the reference video are about to jump also. And once you've gotten that, you want to trim the end and the beginning to be on only that background. You want to also do this for the next video. Hit split and then move it to that point where the clones are jumping, and you want to also make sure that it's timing it perfectly. Once you've gotten that, you also want to trim it from the end also and do the same thing for the next one. Hit split at the end of the background, then move it to that point where they are jumping and then match it so it's jumping at the same time also. Once you get that, trim the end and the beginning to be on only that background. And finally, you want to also do this for the fourth clone and then match the jump time so it's jumping at the same time with the rest of them. And as you get that, you want to also trim it to be on only the background. Now you want to make a copy of the video of you acting like you summoned the shadow clone and then move it to exactly that spot where you moved the previous 4 videos. Then you want to trim the beginning so it's on only that background also. Next thing you want to do is to add the side view of the shadow clones that you shot. Next thing you want to do is to enlarge the scale of the background for where the shadow clones are going to be jumping off and then move it to one side like this. Then next you want to also add in this video of the side view of the shadow clones. Then move to when all of them explode and then hit split from there, then delete the rest. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video. Now you want to make a copy and then place it right beneath the original one, and then make 2 more copies and place them, stack them on top of each other like this. Then the first one, you want to scale it down like this. Now you want to scale them down and arrange them like this so the next one is slightly bigger than the last. And once you've done that for all 4, you can go ahead to increase the scale of the background and then move it so the sky is visible like this. Alright, so now what we want to do is to animate the jumping of the shadow clone. So you want to look for the first one that jumps, which is this one in the back, and then add a keyframe and then move to when he's out of the screen completely, and then move your own also out of the screen like that. And at the keyframe, on the first keyframe, you want to hit split from there. Then you want to look for the second one that is jumping, which is this one in this front side like this. So you want to move to right when his own jump starts and then add a keyframe, then move to when he's out of the screen and move it out of the screen like that. On the first keyframe, you want to hit split from there. Then on the next one also, you want to move to right when his own jump starts and then add a keyframe from there. Then move to when he's out of the screen and move him out of the screen also. Then hit split on the first keyframe. And finally, on this one that is in the side here, to move to where his own jump starts and then add a keyframe. Then move to when he's out of the screen and enlarge the scale and move it out of the screen like this also. Then hit split on the first keyframe. Once you've gotten all of that, to also animate the movement of these shadow clones when they collide with each other. So you want to stack them all on each other like this on the screen. And then on the smallest one, you want to add a keyframe exactly where he is in the middle of the screen, and then move to right before he comes in and then move it out of the screen like this. Then you should get something like this. Then on the second one also, you want to move to right when he's in the middle of the screen and then add a keyframe. Then move to right before he comes into the screen and then move it out of the screen like that also. So this is all you are going to be doing for all of them. Just move to right when they are in the middle of the screen and then add a keyframe. Move to right before they come into the screen and then move them out so you get something like this. And finally, also for the last one, you want to also move to right when he's in the middle of the screen, then add a keyframe from there. Then you want to move to right before he comes in to the screen and then move it out of the screen also. And with that, we are done with adding all the Naruto characters for this section of the tutorial. So what I want to do now is to add in all the Doctor Strange characters, and the first thing you will need to do is to add in this video of you jumping and landing like this. Once you add it, you want to move to right when you are in the peak. You are at the peak of your jump, and then hit split from there, delete everything behind, then take that clip back to the beginning of the video. Then at the end of the background, you want to hit split and delete everything after that, then remove the background of that video. Now you want to enlarge the scale of the background of the first background, and then scale it down and move it to one side like this, and then your Doctor Strange that landed, you want to enlarge the scale like this, and then add a keyframe right when he's in the middle of the screen, and move to the beginning and move it out of the screen like this. On the third background, you want to add in this video of you acting like you are levitating from the ground, and then move to right when your feet is about to go up, and then hit split from there, delete everything behind, then place it at the beginning of this background. Then at the end also, you want to hit split and remove the background of the video that is in the back. And you want to also move to right when your hands are up on this video also, and they are about right when your hands are about to come down, and then hit split from there and delete everything behind, then place it on the next background after that one, then hit split and remove the background of the video that is behind. Now you want to move to the first pose of the clone, and then hit split from there and delete everything behind that. Then move that video to exactly the spot where the shadow clones start coming on your Doctor Strange character, and make sure to enlarge the scale of the video of you levitating and the background also like this. And move that clone pose to exactly the spot where the clones come in, and move to right when all the clones are out of the screen and hit split from there. Then you want to also move to the next clone pose that you have, and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then you want to position that video exactly where you positioned the first one, and make sure to remove the background of both clone poses that you have. After that, go ahead to delete the video after that. Then you want to scale them up so they are the same size as the one that is levitating. And then on both videos, you want to add a keyframe at the beginning, and then move to right when they are out of the screen, and move and enlarge the scale and move it out of the screen also like this. And on the other one, you want to do the same thing, add a keyframe at the beginning, then move to right when it's out of the screen, and then enlarge the scale and move it out like that. Now you want to make a copy of the first one and then place it beneath every other thing. Now you want to delete the last keyframe. This time, instead of enlarging the scale, you just move it out of the screen like this. Then you want to go to layer and then set layer to 1 so it's beneath all the clips that you have. Now you want to make a copy of the second video and then place it beneath everything also like this. Then delete the last keyframe, and you also want to move it out of the screen on the other side like this. Then go to layer and set layer to 2 so it's beneath everything also, and you get something that looks like this. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to add is the side view of the Doctor Strange clones, and you want to move to right when you raise up your feet as if you are levitating, and hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then position that clip after the next background that you had, and then at the end of the background you want to hit split, then delete, and then delete the rest of the video. Then you want to also remove the background of that video, and then enlarge the scale of the background like this so it's only showing the sky. After you do that, you want to scale down that first video that you had, and then position it on one side like this. Then copy it again and then place it beneath everything that you had. And then you want to also do this again, copy that video and then place it beneath the rest of them. You want to do this one more time, copy the same video and then place it beneath the rest of them. Now you want to place them in similar positions as the one on the reference video. So 3, make sure the next one is a little bit larger than the rest of them. And once you've gotten something that you like, you want to move to right when the first clone starts moving and hit split and then add a keyframe from there. Then move to right when it's out of the screen and also move yours out of the screen like this. Then you want to also do this for the rest of them. Move to right when the next clone starts moving and then hit split from there and add a keyframe. Then move to right when it's out of the screen and move it out also. Then move to right when the next one starts and then add a hit split from there and add a keyframe. Then move to right when it's out of the screen and also move yours out of the screen. And finally, you want to move to where the last one starts moving and then add a keyframe. Then hit split from there, then move to right when it's out of the screen and then move yours out of the screen also. You get something that looks like this. What you want to do is to copy one of the videos and then move them beneath the other Naruto shadow clones that you had, and make sure to trim it so they end at the same spot, because that is where all the clones are going to be disappearing. The first thing you want to do is to match the scale of that one with the first one that you had, and then go ahead to copy that video and then place it beneath everything. Then match the scale also with the second one that you have. You want to also do this for the rest of them. Copy the same video and then match the scale of that one with the third one. Once you get that, you want to also copy the same video finally and then match the scale with the fourth one that you have. And now what you want to do is to animate the movement on each of them. So on the smallest video, you want to add a keyframe right when the first one, when it stops on the reference, and then move to right before it comes into the screen, and then move it out of the screen like that. And the same thing for the second one, you want to move to right when it stops in the middle of the screen, and then add a keyframe, then move to right before it comes in, and then move that video out of the screen like that also, to get something like this. Then the same thing for the third one, you want to move to right when it's in the middle, and then add a keyframe, then move to right before it comes in, and then move it out of the screen like that. And finally for the fourth one, when it is in the middle, add a keyframe, then move to right before it comes into the screen, and then move it out of the screen like that. You should get something like this. The next thing you want to do is to animate the movement of the levitation on this background. So you want to increase the scale of the background like this, and then move it to one side, then increase the scale of the Dr. Strange character also, then add a keyframe at the beginning, then move to the end, and then move it upwards like this, so it's levitating. And on the background also, you want to add a keyframe at the beginning, then move to the end, then move it to one side a little bit like this, so you get something that looks like this. Now what you want to do is to add in this close-up of you raising up your hands, and then move to right before your hands start going up, and hit place and delete everything behind, then move that clip to the background before the one that we were working on just now. Now you want to make sure that the hands are going up and are coming down at the same time. So what you can do is to trim from the beginning. You want to enlarge the scale of the video like this, and then move to right when your hands are about to come down, and then hit split from there, then trim the video that is behind to that background, and then remove the background of that video. Afterwards, you want to move to right when the hands are coming down on the reference, and then trim that video to that spot, then move that one that is in front of it to exactly where the other one is. You want to trim it to that background, and also remove the background of that video, so you get something that looks like this. Okay, so once you've gotten that, we have to add in the extra arms that you can see on the reference. So there is an easier way to do this. You can just record the video of your hand alone and then remove the background, but because I didn't do that, I want to show you guys the problem solving way of doing it. So what you can do is to make a copy of this video with your hands already up, and then move to a point where you can see one of the arms completely, and then hit freeze on that spot exactly. Then delete the video that is behind, also delete the video that is in front of it. And then you want to add a mask, you want to go to mask and then tap on circle, then adjust it so it's covering your entire body and only leaving your arm exposed. So once you've gotten that, you should see something like this. Then move that video to that point where your hands are going up, and then move to right when the hands are coming up, and then right when the hands are already up, and then move it to the position you want it to be at. You want to go to layer and then tap on 2, so it's beneath your character but above the reference. So what you want to do now is to move to right when the hands come up, and then add a keyframe on that video, and then split and delete everything at the end of the background, then move backwards to before they come in, and then rotate the arm like this. Be careful not to increase the scale too much, so you get something that looks like this. Now what you want to do is to make a copy of that video again, and then place it above everything that you have, and then on the final keyframe, on the keyframe that is in front, you want to rotate it and place it on the position you want it to be. Then go to layer and set it to 2, so it's beneath your original character. So now you have 2 arms, and you want to do this again. Make a copy and then place it above all the videos that you have, and on the keyframe that is at the end, you want to rotate it and place it where you want it to be. Go to layer, then go to layer and set it to 2. Now we've gotten all the 3 extra arms for the one side, but we need to do for the other side. So you want to make another copy of that arm and then place it above all the videos that you have. And then what you want to do is to reduce the scale like this, and then go to edit and then tap on mirror so the hand is facing the other side, and then go to mask and move it to the other arm so it's facing the other direction like this, and adjust it so only the hand is visible. What you want to do now is to enlarge the scale and then position it where you want it to be, then add a keyframe, then move to the beginning and then rotate it like this so it's like it's covered by your body. And now you want to go to layer and then set it to 2, so it's beneath your character. Now you are going to be doing this for all the rest of the remaining arms for this other direction. So just make a copy, and on the keyframe that is at the end, you want to rotate it like this and then place it at the position where you want it to be. Then you want to go to mirror, you want to go to layer and then set it to 2 again. Now from here you guys might have seen that there is a pattern, so you just copy them, and then the keyframe that is at the end, you want to position it where you want it to be, then go to layer and set it to 2. So once you've done all of that, you should have something that looks like this. Now what you want to do is to move to when the hands are coming down, and on the video of you bringing your hands down, you want to go to layer and then set that to the highest number you can see so it's above everything. And once you've done that, the next thing we need to do is to add in all the effects that we're going to be using. So the first effect you want to add is this dust effect. So move to right when the dust is scattering everywhere, and then split and delete everything behind that. Then move to the end of the background and split and delete the rest of it. Then set the blending mode to filter, so the black background is gone, and then enlarge the scale of the dust and move it to one side like this. Now what you want to do is to add in the shadow clone effect, the dust for the shadow clone. So go ahead to add in this effect and then set the blending mode to filter. Then move to where the first clone is coming, and then set that effect to be on that spot. What you want to do next is to make a copy of that effect, and then move to where the second one is coming and place that effect there. Then place it on that spot in the screen, and the same thing, you want to also copy it again, then place it on the spot where the third shadow clone is coming in, and then move it to that spot on the screen also. And finally, you want to make the final copy for the last one when it's coming in, and then place it at exactly the spot where the last smoke for the shadow clone is appearing, and then place it on top the character on the screen also. So you should get 4 smokes for the shadow clones. And then make sure to trim the excess so they end on that background, and don't move into the next thing. So the next thing we need to do is to add the smoke for the explosion of all the shadow clones when they explode. So move to right when the first smoke appears, and then add the same smoke that you used for the first shadow clone. Then set the blending mode to filter to remove the background, and enlarge it and position it over all of them like this. Then make a copy of that one, and then place it beneath the one that you did before, but on the spot where the second smoke is appearing. You want to enlarge the scale of that one also, and then place it like this. Now you want to make a third copy, and then place it beneath everything. Then rotate it and enlarge the scale like this, so you get like 3 explosions for all the shadow clones going. And once you've done that, you can go ahead to check your work to make sure that you have something like this. And once you've done that, what you want to do now is to add the motion blur for all the speed dashes of the clones going up. So move to the spot where the first clone is starting to go up, and then you want to go to effect and then search for motion blur, and then tap on it to add it to that spot exactly. And then you want to trim it so it's on only that background. And now what you want to do is to set the object so it's on the clone that is going up, and then you want to increase the intensity to 100, and then the horizontal you want to set it to 57. Now you want to copy that effect and then place it on the next one that is going up, and then copy it again and place it on the next one that is going up, and then finally copy it and then place it on the last one that you have. Once you place it on all of them, you want to move to where the Dr. Strange characters are going down from the sky, and then also tap on object and then place it on the overlay videos, and make sure that the motion blur only comes in when they are starting to move. And once you've copied and placed the objects for each and every one of them, the last and the final thing you need to do is to move the reference video out of the screen and then export the video. And that's it for the first section. This is what you should have. Right, so the first thing we need to do is to add in this background, and then add in the second section of the video, and then scale it down and position it on one side. As usual, it's going to be serving as the reference for the editing. So once you do that, you want to enlarge the background so both videos end at the same spot, and then you want to move to every spot where the scene changes on the reference video, and then hit split on the background. And once you've done that, the first thing you want to do is to move to the first background and then enlarge it and move it to one side like this. And then moving on to the second, you want to also enlarge it a little bit more than the previous one, and then position it on the same side like this. And you want to do the same thing for the third one, and for the fourth one also, just enlarge it and position it like this. This one you want to just leave it the way that it is, and then move to the next one, then enlarge it like this. Next you want to enlarge this one and position it on the other side like this. Then on this one you want to tap on edit and then mirror to make it face the other direction. And once you've done that, we can begin adding the characters that we need. Next you want to add this video of you jumping and landing like this. Then move to the point where you are right in the middle of the jump, and then hit split and delete everything behind. Move that video to the beginning of everything, and then move to the end of that background and reduce the video so it ends at exactly that spot. Then remove the background of that video. Then enlarge the scale like this so you get something that looks like this. And then moving on to the second background, you want to add this close-up of you looking and then acting like you were confused, and then move to right before the confusion and split and delete everything. Then move it to the second background. And now you want to make sure that the dodging is happening at the same time. So first thing you want to do is to scale it down so you can see the reference. Then you want to match the dodging movements of the close-up with the one on the reference. So the first thing you want to do is to move to right before the dodging happens, and then split and delete everything from there. And if it still doesn't match, you can increase the speed so the dodging is happening at the same time. And once you've gotten that, you can split and delete everything. You can hit split and then remove the background of the video that is at the back, then scale it up like this. Next thing you want to do is to move to the point where you are turning around after the dodging movement, and then hit split and delete everything behind that. Then move that clip to the spot where on the reference he's also turning around and facing front like this, and then hit split from there. Then move to the point where he's turning and facing the back, and then move it to the spot where it's happening on the background in the reference also, and then split and delete everything after that. Then remove the background of that video, then scale it up like this. And then you want to also remove the background of this video and then enlarge the scale also like this. Now the next thing you want to do is to add in the full video of you doing the dodging movement, and then move to right before you start the dodging, and then hit split and delete everything behind. Then position it on the spot where the dodging is happening on the reference also, and then at the end you want to hit split and delete the rest of it. Then remove the background of that video, then scale it down and position it on the floor like this. And next you want to add this video of you facing the back, and then move to right when you stop moving, and then hit split and delete everything for that. Then move that video to the beginning of the background, and then at the end you want to split and then remove the background of the video at the back. Then reduce the size and position it on the ground like this. And once you've gotten that, you want to move to the point where you're still facing the back but you're raising your hand as if you are blocking something, and right before you raise your hand, hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then move that video to the point where Dave Ardito is raising his own hands on the reference video, which is the last background that you should have on this section, and make sure that the hands go up at the same time. And if it doesn't, you can trim it and then move it back like this. And once you've gotten that, at the end of the video, hit split and delete the rest of it. Then remove the background of that video, then reduce the scale and position it on one side like this on the ground. And with that, we are done with adding all the Dr. Strange characters for this section of the tutorial. And the next thing we need to do is to add in the Naruto characters. So the first thing you want to do is to add in this video of you jumping backwards slow motion, and then move to right when your feet leave the ground and split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to right when Dave Ardito appears on the reference video, so exactly that spot, so you get something like this. Then at the end of that video, you want to hit split and then remove the background of the video that is at the back, so you get something like this. Then position it somewhere close to the ground like this, so you get something that looks like this. Then next you want to move to where you are jumping as if something is in your hand but while you are facing the camera, and move to right when your feet leave the ground, and then hit split from there and then delete the rest of it. Then move that video to where it is happening on the background on the reference. Now you want to increase the speed so the throwing movement is happening at the same time. Once you get that, you can hit split on at the end of the background and then remove the background of the video that is at the back, then position it on one side of the screen like this. Then on the other video, you want to also hit split at the end of it, then delete, then remove the background of that video also, then scale it down and move it to one side of the screen like this, so it's representing your character throwing the thing that is going to be throwing later. I'll not tell anybody. So with that, we are done with adding all the characters that we're going to need for this section. What we need to do now is to add in all the effects. So the first effect we want to add is the throwing star that was thrown at Dr. Strange. And once you add it, you want to go to cutout and then chroma key, and then move the color picker so it's above the grain, and then increase the intensity by this much so the grain is no longer visible, so you get something that looks like this. Now the next thing we need to do to increase the speed of that video to about 3.8, so the throwing star is rolling fast enough. Then you want to move to the beginning of the video where it comes in, and then add a keyframe at that point, and then move to right at the end and then hit split from there, and reduce the scale and move it to the other side like this so it looks like it's thrown as the character, and then hit split from there. Then you want to move to where the clone appears and then place it at the beginning of the video. And what you want to do now is to go to edit and then tap on mirror so it's facing the other side, and then rotate it like this. Then move to right when the character appears and hit split and delete the rest of it. Then what you want to do now is to place it at that spot where the character is going to be appearing. Just reduce the scale and place it there. Then add a keyframe at the end. Then go back to the beginning and scale it down and position it right next to the Dr. Strange character so it looks like it's flying towards the back like this. So what you want to do now is to add in the dust for the substitution jutsu, and then set the blending mode to filter, and then position it over your character that is appearing like this, so you get something that looks like this. The next thing we need to add is the Rasen Shuriken effects. So once you add it, you want to set the blending mode to filter and then rotate it and place it on your hand like this so it looks like your character is holding it. And then you want to go to volume and reduce it to 0 as this effect is really loud. You want to move, then at the beginning of that effect you want to add a keyframe, then move to the end and move it so it's following your hand. And then right where you split the effect, you want to move it to the next background of you facing the camera, and then rotate it so it's on your hand like this. And then as we did before, add a keyframe at the beginning, then match it with the movement of your hand. So at exactly the spot where the effect is thrown, you want to also move there and then move yours out of the screen and enlarge the scale like this. Then you want to hit split at the end of the background and then reduce the scale so it's looking like it's coming from the one at the back. Then add a keyframe on that spot. Then move to right when it hits the Dr. Strange and then enlarge the scale and position it right next to him like this. Then go to layer and then set it to 2 so it's beneath the Dr. Strange character. And then move to right when it disappears and hit split from there and delete the rest of it. And you will get something that looks like this. Now the next thing we need to add is the Dr. Strange shield effect. And then you want to move to right when the effect comes in, when it's appearing, and then hit split and delete everything behind that and place it on the background where the block is happening, and then set the blending mode to filter. Now you want to make sure that the effect is appearing at the same time, so if it doesn't do that, you can also trim it a little bit and then move it backwards so it appears right when it's supposed to. Once you get that, just move it on top of the Dr. Strange character and then enlarge the scale like this. Then what you want to do now is to add this glowing circle effects that we used in the previous part, and then scale it up to cover the shield like this. And then right when the shield disappears, you want to hit split and delete the rest from the shield and the glowing circle effect. Now what you want to do is to go to layer, and then what you want to do is to tap on the Dr. Strange character and then go to layer and set it to 6 so it's above everything, so you get something that looks like this. The next and final thing we need to add is the birds that were produced from the magic shield. So go ahead to add in this green screen bird effect, then go to cutout and chroma key, then move the color picker above the green, then increase the intensity by this much and then scale it up and position it over your character like this. Then what I want to do now is to move to the end and then hit split, then delete the rest of it, then copy that same effect that you have and then place it beneath everything that was there before. Then you want to go to edit and then mirror to make it face the other direction, then position it over the original bird clip that you have. And then what you want to do is to tap on the Dr. Strange effect and then set the layer to the highest number that you can see so it's above everything. And once you've gotten that, the final thing you need to do is to move the reference out of the screen and then tap on export to export your video. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the second section of the edit, and this is what you should have. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is import this background and then import the third and final section of the edit, then scale it down and position it on one side like this. As usual, it's going to be serving as your reference. First thing you want to do is to make sure both videos end at the same spot and then move to any point where the scene changes and then hit split from there. Let's go ahead to do this for all of them. Continue doing that until you reach this background with the sky, in which case you want to hit split and then add in this image. You want to scale it up like this and move it to the bottom and then move to where the scene changes again and then hit split from there and delete the rest of it. Then you want to go back to the beginning of that sky background and then add a keyframe, then move to the end and then move it downwards like this, so you'll get something that looks like this. And for this next sky background, you want to add this video and you want to also scale it up and move it to one side like this, then add a keyframe at that point, then move to where the scene changes again and then hit split. And then at the end of that background, you want to move it to one side like this so you get something that looks like this. And on the next background, you just want to adjust it a little bit like this, then move to where the scene changes and then split and delete the rest of it. And you want to also move to where the scene changes again on your reference and then hit split on the background. And finally, you want to split and delete the rest at the end of the video. And now you want to move to the beginning of the video and then add in close up of you saying "I can do this all day" and raising your hand as if you want to summon the shadow clones, and then scale it down like this so you can see the background. And you want to make sure that the hand is going up at the same time, so you want to trim it from the beginning like this and then time it so the hands go up at the same time. If it doesn't happen, you can still increase the speed so your character is moving faster. And once you get that, you want to trim the video so it ends on that background. You want to go ahead to remove the background of that video and scale it up like this. And then on the background also, you want to scale it up and then move it to one side like this. Next, you want to add in the full shot of you acting like you are summoning the shadow clones, and then move to the end of the video and split from there. Then move to that point where the shadow clones are destroyed. Move to that point where you are looking side to side as if you are confused, and then position it on the background where the shadow clones are being destroyed. And at the end of that, you want to hit split and then move to where you are looking forward and then smiling as if something just went your way. and then move to right when the clone disappears and then hit split from there and delete the rest of it. Then you want to remove the background of that video and position it on the ground like this, and the one behind it you want to also remove the background. Then increase the scale of the background and move it to one side like this. Then position that video on the ground like this, and make sure to increase the size so you get something that looks like this. And this one also you want to remove the background and then increase the size of the background like this, and then move it to one side. Then position that on the ground and increase the size. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead to add in this close-up of you looking confused and then smiling, and then reduce the scale so you can see the reference, and then hit split at the end of that background, and then move to that point where you are looking confused and then smiling on the close-up, and then trim it to be on only the background where it is happening on the reference. Remove the background of that video and then scale it up like this. Then on the one behind you want to also move the background and then also scale up the background like this, and then increase the size of your own character like this so you get something that looks like this. And you want to move to that point where the Naruto is coming out from the ground, and then add in the slow motion video of you jumping up as if you are punching someone. The first thing you want to do is to go to speed and then normal and reduce the speed a little bit so it stays in the air for longer, and then at the end of the background you want to split and delete the rest of it. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video. Now you want to reduce the size a little bit and then position it on the ground, and on the background also you want to increase it and then move it to one side like this. Then next you want to add this video of you acting like you are coming from somewhere to punch someone, and then you want to make sure that the punch is happening at the same time both on your reference and on your own video. So if it doesn't, you can trim from the beginning and then move that video so the punch is happening at the same time. And when you get something like that, you want to make sure that it ends at the end of the background and also at the beginning of the background. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video. Then on the final background you want to add in this video of you jumping and landing like this. Move to right when you are in the middle of the jump and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then increase the size of the background like this, and also remove the background of that video of you jumping and landing. Then position it on the ground like this. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is to add in the shadow clones for that point where you are summoning, you are doing the shadow clone jutsu. What you want to do is to add in the video of you posing for the clones, and then at the end of the background you want to split and you want to hit split from there, and then move to the second shadow clone pose and then split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to the exact spot where the other one is, and then place both of them on one side of the screen, and then split and delete at the end of the background. Then remove the background of both videos so that you want to move them to each of the sides like this so they are not too close to the one at the middle. And then you want to copy the first one and place it above everything like this. Then move that one to the side and reduce the scale like this so it looks like it's behind all of them. And then the second one also you want to copy it again and then place that beneath everything that you have, and then move it to one side like this and reduce the size so it looks like it's behind everything. And the next thing you want to do is to copy one of the shadow clones and then move it to this other background like this, and also adjust the background so they are on the floor. You want to move to where the clone disappears and then trim that video to end at that spot. Then copy another one again and move it to that exact background you move the other one, then also trim it to end where the one that you just brought ends. From the videos you just move, you want to copy the first one and then place it beneath everything, then increase the scale and move it to one side like this. Then the other one also you want to copy it again and then move it to the other side. Then this time you want to reduce the size and then move it to the back so it looks like it's behind all of them. With that, we are done with adding all the Naruto characters that we need. Alright, so after doing all of that, the next thing you want to do is to add in this video of you saying, and I don't have time for this, and moving your hands like this. Then you want to scale it down a little bit so you can see the background and move it to one side like this, and make sure the hands are going down at the same time. The first thing you can do is to, as usual, trim from the beginning and then move it backwards and see if it matches. And if it still doesn't, you can go ahead to increase the speed to about 1.2 so they are going down together, and make sure the video ends on that background. And once you get that, you can go ahead to remove the background of that video, then scale it up like this. And then next you want to add in the wide one of you hitting your hands on the floor like this, and then move to right when you are starting to go down, and then split and delete everything behind that. Then move it to the background where Dr. Strange or Dave Ardito is going down also, and then at the end you want to hit split and delete the rest of it. Now if yours is facing the wrong direction like mine, you can go ahead to go to edit and then mirror to make it face the other side, and then go ahead to remove the background of that video. Then on the background you want to scale it up and move it to one side like this so it looks like it's on the ground. In the video, you want to also scale it down and move it to one side like this. And the next one you want to add is this close-up of you on the ground, raising your head up and smiling. And then move to right when you are about to raise your head, and then hit split from there and delete the one behind. Then move that video to the background, where to the spot where it's happening on the reference. So scale it down so you can see it happening, and then move to the end of that video and split, and then remove the background of the video at the back. Then move to that point where you were smiling but you started acting confused, and right when the smile is about to go away, you want to trim it to that point, and then move it to the background where it's happening on your reference also, and then split and remove the background of the video that is behind. You want to move to that point where you're acting confused, looking side to side, and then make sure it matches with when it's happening on Dave Ardito's. If it does, you can split and delete everything behind the background and everything after the background, and then go ahead to remove the background of that video also. Next thing you want to do is to scale up the background and move it to one side like this. Then the video also, you want to scale it up so your head is really close to the camera. Same thing for this one also, scale up the background and move it to one side, then move it so your face is close to the screen like this. And then the next background, you want to scale it up and move it to one side so the ground alone is visible, and then go ahead to add in this top down shot of you looking confused, looking at the ground and looking confused side to side like this. And then move to right when you begin to look from side to side, and then split and delete everything behind that. Then move it to that background, to the beginning of that background, then move to the end of that background, and then split and delete the rest of it. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video, then scale it up like this so you get something that looks like this. On this one also, you want to scale it up so your face is close to the screen, and then scale up the background and move it to the side like this. Then next, on this background, you want to scale it up and then move it a little bit like this, and then go ahead to add in this video, the full shot of you trying to get up. Then move to right when you start trying to get up, and then hit split from there and delete the one at the back. Then move that video to the beginning of that background, and then move to right at the point where the Naruto character is appearing on the reference, and then hit split and delete the rest of it from there. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video, and you want to match it so it's at the point where the punch is happening. So reduce the scale and position it like this, and also the one that is punching, you can increase the scale and then move it to the front like this so it's closer to the camera. And once you've gotten something that looks like this, you want to add in the slow motion video of you jumping as if you just got punched by yourself. Then move to the point right when your feet leave the ground, and then hit split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to exactly the spot where you made that split on this background, and then you want to hit split right when your legs are starting to go down, and also reduce the speed like this so it stays longer in the air. And then you want to go ahead to remove the background of that video, and then scale it down and position it like this. Then next thing you want to do is to go to layer, and then set layer to 1 so it's beneath your character, and then you get something that looks like this. The next thing you want to do is to add in this side view of you acting like you are flying through the air, and then move to right when you pose as if you are flying, and then hit split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to the beginning of the background where you act like you are flying through the air, and then at the end of that background you want to split and delete the rest of it. Then go ahead to remove the background of that video. You want to move to the next sky background with the close-up, and then add in this video of you acting like you just got punched from the top. Then reduce the scale so you can see the reference, and then move to right when you start acting like the punch is hitting you, and then split and delete everything behind. Then move that video to the beginning of that background, and once you've done that, you want to go ahead to hit split at the end of the background and delete the rest of it. Next thing you want to do is to remove the background of that video, and then scale it up and position it like this on one side, and then making sure that the punch is matching with each other, and it does. What you want to do now is to add the hand that is punching it. So go ahead to add in this video of your hand, and then remove the background. Alright, so the next thing you want to do now is to animate all the movements that are in the video. So the first one I want to do is this one that is punching into the sky like this. So you want to move to right before the punch that takes him up, and then add a keyframe from that point. Then move to the point where it's already up, and then move your own Naruto up like this. Then on the Dr. Strange character, at that spot exactly where the character is about to go up, you want to add a keyframe there again, and then move forward and then move it out of the screen so you get something like this. So the next thing you want to do is this one that is going to the sky. So you want to reduce the size and then position it like this on one side, and then add a keyframe right when it's in the middle, and then move to right before it comes in and move yours out of the screen like that. Then the next one I want to do is this one that is coming to punch. So first thing you want to do is to add a keyframe while it is in the middle of the screen, and then move to the beginning and reduce the size and move it to one side, so you get this curving movement like this. And then move to that point where it's right in front of the screen, and then scale it up and position yours also the screen like that, so you get something like this. And on this one you want to rotate the hand like this, and then move it out of the screen. Then move to the point where it makes contact with the face, and then move it inside and add a keyframe. Then move to right before it comes in, and then move it out. Then continue tracking the hand on the face like that until the end of the background where it punches him out, and then move it outwards like this. And on the one that is receiving the punch, you want to move to right when the hand hits him in the face, and then add a keyframe from there. Then you want to move it upwards a little bit, and then move to the beginning and then move it downward, so it looks like it's flying upward and being brought back by the hand. And then at that point where it hits, it's going to be hit back to the air. You want to add a keyframe from there. Then move to when it's out of the screen on the reference, and then move yours out of the screen. And then on the hand video, you want to split and delete the rest of it. Then on this one that you land, you want to move to right when your feet touch the ground, and then add a keyframe. Then move to right before Dave Ardito comes in on the reference, and then move yours out of the screen like that, so you get something that looks like this. And with that, we are done with adding all the animation or movements for this section. Alright, so what we want to do now is to add in all the visual effects. So the first one we want to add is the shadow clone dust for when you summon the shadow clones at the beginning like this, and then set the blending mode to filter and move it to the point where the first one is appearing, and then place it over the shadow clone like this. And then what you want to do now is to copy it and then move it to the exact spot where the second one is appearing, and then move the dust to that spot like this. And again, as you did before, copy it again and then place it beneath everything. Then move it to exactly the spot where the next one is coming in, and then move it over that one like this. And then copy it one more time and then place it at the spot where the final clone is going to appear. Now what you want to do is to reduce the clone videos so they appear at the exact time that the dust is appearing also. So you don't want them to appear before the dust. That's just basically what you have to do. So just move to when the dust is appearing, and then move that video to that point, so it's after the dust appears that they also appear. Once you've gotten that, the next one I want to add is the Dr. Strange magic shield for this point in the video where you are waving your hands around like a mad person. So go ahead to add in this Dr. Strange shield, and then set the blending mode to filter and position it on one of your hands like this. Then copy that effect and then move it to that exact same spot and place it over your second hand like this. What you want to do is to add a keyframe at the beginning, then track that magic shield so it's following the hand that it was on originally. I'm so sorry guys, that was my mom. Alright, so moving on, and then at the end of it you want to hit split at the end of the background, and then on the next video you want to scale it down and then position it on your hand like this, and then continue tracking the magic shield so it follows your hand. On the part where your hands hit the ground, you want to hit split from there and then go to mask and then select horizontal, then place it above the magic shield a little bit like this, so you get something that looks like this. And then for the second one also, you want to go back to the beginning and then add a keyframe, then follow your other hand with the mask continually like this. Then at the end of the background also with the keyframes, then at the end of the background also you want to hit split, and then on the other one you want to scale it down and position it on your other hand like this. Then follow your hand continually with it until it hits the ground. Then you want to hit split at exactly that spot, then go to mask and then select horizontal, then make sure it covers a little bit of the magic shield like this. And once you've gotten that, you want to split and delete everything at the end of that, on the end of that background, and make sure both videos end at that spot exactly. Once you've gotten that, you want to add in this black screen energy line effect. I don't know the name, but just add it. So once you add it, you want to rotate it like this and then place it on one of the magic shields effects, and then move to the end of that background and then split from there. Then the one that is in front, you want to move it to that point where the energy lines start coming in on the reference, and then rotate it and then place it on one side of the clones like this. Make sure it doesn't touch the one that is in the middle. Then you want to move to where all the clones are gone and then hit split from there, then delete the rest of it, then copy that effect and then place it above the other one on exactly the same spot. Then what you want to do is to rotate it and make it coming from the other side, but make sure it also doesn't touch the one that is in the middle. And once you've gotten that, you want to go back to the first one on the magic shield and then copy it and then place it at exactly the same spot where the other one is, and then move it to be on the second magic shield. And then you want to go to layer and set it to 1 so it's beneath the magic shield. And then what you want to do now is to move to the point where the energy lines come into the middle of the screen, then add a keyframe from that point, and then move to right before they come in and then move it out of the screen like that. And the same thing you want to do is for the second one, add a keyframe at the point where they come into the screen and then move to right before they come in and then move it out of the screen, so it looks like it is being pushed forward like this, so you get something that looks like this. Now what you want to do is to trim them to that spot where all the clones are gone, and then you want to trim the clones to the point where they disappear. So for this one, it disappears here. You want to hit split and delete the rest of it, then move on, then tap on another one and then move to where it also disappears, then split and delete the rest of it. So you want to do this for all of them. Move to where they disappear and then hit split from there, delete the rest. Then finally for this last one, you want to move to where it disappears and then trim it to that spot exactly. And what you want to do is to add the shadow clone dust for the point where the clones are disappearing, and then make sure it appears at exactly the spot where they are disappearing. And then once you place it on the first one, you want to copy it and then place it on the second one at exactly that spot, on the second one that is disappearing. So you want to move it to that spot and then move it to that side on the screen also, so you get something that looks like this. And then you want to make another copy and make sure that the video ends at the end of the background, and then make another copy and then place it beneath everything. Then move to where the third one is going to be disappearing and move it to that point, and then place it on top of that one on the screen also, and trim it to the end of the background. And then finally you want to copy it again and place it at the spot where the next one is going to be disappearing. Then you want to move it to that spot on the screen also, so you get something like this. Then you want to move to the video of the original Naruto character and then go to layer and then set it to the highest number you can see, so it's above everything. And then on this final smoke, instead of deleting it, just hit split and then go to layer and set it to 1, then increase it and position it on one side like this. So once you've done that, you want to move to that point where the original one in the center is going to be disappearing, and then add in our shadow clone dust that we are using, and then set the blending mode to filter, then position it on that spot exactly where it's going to be disappearing, so you get something like this. And at the end of the background, you want to trim it so it doesn't overlap into the next one. And after that, you want to move to this point where the punch is happening and then add in this ground breaking effects. Then move to right where the ground break starts and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Then move that video, that spot where the punch is happening exactly, and then go to cutout and then chroma key, then move the green, the color picker on top of the green, and increase the intensity, then increase the scale and position it like this. If yours still has the green on the ground breaking effect, you can still increase the intensity so there is no more green on top of it. And once you've gotten that, next thing you want to do is to go to speed and then reduce the speed to about 0.5, so it's moving really slowly, and then move to the end of the background and then split and delete the rest of it, and then you should get something that looks like this. You want to adjust it and place it so it looks like it's coming out of the ground like this. So the next effect you need to add is this ground shockwave effect, and once you do, you want to move to right when the effect is happening and then hit split from there and delete everything behind. Move that video to that point where your hand is hitting the face and then set the blending mode to filter, then increase the scale like this and then position it right on top of the punch with your hand and then hit split from there and delete the rest of it. The next thing you want to do is to copy that same shockwave effect and then move to the point where the shockwave is happening on the reference video and then rotate it like this and then scale it up and position it above, so it looks like the shockwave is happening on the sky like this. Once you've done that, the next thing we need to add is this black smoke explosion effect. So go ahead to add it and then trim it to right in the middle of the effect where it's happening. Then go to cutout and then tap on chroma key, then place it on top of the green and increase the intensity by this much so the green is no longer visible. Then enhance the scale and position it on the ground like this. Then you want to go to right when the background changes and then hit split from there and delete the rest of it. And then on that spot where you land, you want to also add in this dust shockwave and move to right when the shockwave is happening and trim it to that point, then position it on the spot where you are landing, then set the blending mode to filter and position it on the ground like this. Then you should get something that looks like this. Then you want to make sure that at the end of the video, what you want to do now is to go to layer and then set the layer to 1 so it's beneath your character, and then at the end of the video hit split and delete the rest of that effect. Then you want to copy that effect again and then place it right when the explosion is happening and enlarge it to ends at the end of that background. Then enlarge the scale like this so you get something that looks like this. And once you've gotten that, you want to move back to that sky background and then add in this dust wave effect and then enlarge the scale like this and then set the blending mode to filter so you have something that is happening on the background as if the wind is blowing. Then at the end of the final sky background, hit split and delete the rest of the effects. Once you've done that, you can go ahead to remove the reference video out of the screen so it's no longer visible but you have the sound, and then tap on export to export the video. If you have made it to this point, I just want you to know that I'm really proud of you, and just drop a comment saying I made it through the final edit, and I will give you a special shout out.
I can do this all day. And I don't have time for this.
Alright, so in this section, all we want to do is to add in all the shake effects for all the videos that you have edited. So go ahead to add all the 3 parts that we have edited in this tutorial in the order in which you made them. And then right after you do, you want to go to effects and then add in the shake effect. Trim it to be on only that spot in the beginning where you are moving into the screen, and then reduce the intensity to 20 and the speed to 100. And what you want to do now is to copy that same effect and move it to the point where the shadow clones are appearing. Then you want to go to intensity and reduce it to about 5. Then enlarge it to cover all the spots where the clones are appearing. Then the next thing you want to do is to copy that effect again and then move it to that point where the hands are going up, and then trim it a little bit, then copy it again and then move it to that spot where the clones are coming out of the original one, and then copy it again and then move to the spot where the clones are jumping up, and you want to make sure to assign shake to all the jumps. So go ahead to copy it and then move to where the second one is jumping and place it on that spot, then copy it again and then move to where the third one is jumping and then place it there, then copy it again and then place it where the first dash is happening on the Dr. Strange clones, and then as much as possible just copy it and make sure that any speed dash that is happening has a shake on it, as that will make it more believable. So once you've done that, you want to copy the effect and then move it forward to that point where the clones are going to be colliding, and then you want to increase the intensity to about 30, then enlarge it to cover all the spots where the explosions are happening. Then copy that effect again, and this time you want to move it to the spot where the shuriken, the ninja star, is passing your character, and then trim it a little bit to be on only that spot. Then set the intensity to about 7, then copy it again and move to that spot where the transformation is happening, where the shuriken turns into the Naruto character. Then increase the intensity to about 17 and copy it again, and then move to the spot where the Rasen shuriken is being thrown and just place it on that spot. Then copy it again and then move it to the spot where the Rasen shuriken hits the Dr. Strange magic shield. Then you want to trim it to be on only that spot where the collision is happening. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead to copy it again and then move it to where the next clones are appearing. Reduce the intensity to about 7 and then increase it to cover the entire spot where the clones are appearing. Then copy it again and then move to that spot where your hands are going by and then place one effect there. Then trim it to be on only that spot. Then you want to copy that effect and then place it at exactly the spot where your hands hit the ground. Now you want to enlarge that effect to cover the entire spot where that electric line is going on the ground. I don't know the name that I will call that. But what you want to do now is to go to the shake that is behind that and then copy it. Then place it on that spot where your hands are hitting the ground, and then copy the effect again and then place it on the spot where the first clones are disappearing. Then copy the effect again and then place it on the spot where the second group of clones are disappearing. And once you've done that, you want to copy the effect and then move to that spot where the final clone is going to disappear and then place the effect there. Then copy it again and then move to that scene where your head is facing the ground and then set the intensity to about 8. Then make sure to enlarge it so it covers the entire spot before the punch happens, and then you want to copy that effect, then trim it to exactly the spot where this punch is happening and then move it to that spot. Then increase the intensity to about 28 and then copy it again and then move to where the punch is happening that is taking him out of the screen and then place it at that spot. Then increase it a little bit and copy it again. Then you want to make sure that the effect that was before the punch happening, you want to enlarge it to cover the entire spot up to where this explosion is happening. Then you want to copy the effect at the bottom and then move it to where the punch is happening, so you get something like this. Then copy it again and move it to the spot where the punch is moving him out of the screen, and finally copy the effect again and then place it on the spot where the explosion is happening. Then copy the effect again finally and then place it on the spot where your legs are touching the ground. Then you want to trim it a little bit and then set the intensity to about 12. And once you've done all of that, you can go ahead to cross check your work to make sure that all the shakes are adequate, and if you like what you have, you can export, and if you don't like what you have, you can still increase the intensity or reduce it on any one of them so it suits the need that you want. And having done that, you can go ahead, just tap on export, and you have completed the entire second section of this tutorial, and this is what you should have.
I can do this all day. And I don't have time for this.
Now if you want to make the complete video, if you had watched the part 1, the video you made from that one, just add it to Capcut and then add in this one that you just made from this tutorial, and then make sure that you add it in the exact order that you made them and just tap on export, and you should have the complete thing. If you enjoyed this tutorial, you definitely enjoyed this one where I show you how to create another Dave Ardito video. This was the Odahverse, and I'll see you in the next video.